Hi, this is Dr. Gaby Cora and welcome to my show, Dr. Gaby's Take, Make Life Interesting.
And through this two-day meeting, we decided we needed to do two things. We needed a pre-arrest type of diversion because the court system should not be the default system. And you don't want to create a system where we're offering such wonderful opportunity that people want to get arrested to get services. So we needed a pre-arrest, and we based it on this crisis intervention team program that began in Memphis. We really liked the model. The police were very reticent to do it.
So you had to convince several stakeholders.
Yes, and remember, Dade County is a huge county, and we have like 38 different police agencies, which is like 38 different cultures, and I'm a civilian to them, and getting them to do it was a really big deal. It was very, very difficult at first, and I think at the time I was living on the beach. I knew the mayor, pretty progressive area, and they were willing to try it just because I bugged them, and it started to look promising.
So the personal connection was what...
Yes, that's what helped get Miami Beach going, and then the other agencies started to watch. And then sadly, we had a really, really horrible tragedy in the city of Miami. A guy by the name of Richard Beatty. I remember his name well because I had released him from jail. This was a Vietnam veteran. He was harmless. He suffered from severe PTSD, but he was this big, burly kind of guy and looked kind of scary. And he used to walk around here, and he used to walk right across the 12th Street Bridge over into Little Havana. And one night, there used to be a restaurant right on the other side of the bridge, and he was peering into the window, and he was holding his little penknife. And somebody saw him and called the police. And they weren't trained, and they came out, and they did everything wrong. And they escalated it and escalated, and it was a 4-hour standoff. And they pepper sprayed him, and they tried to hit him with batons, and they had all these officers surround him, and they literally followed him in a circle over the bridge, and he ended up back underneath the highway in the parking lot like 1 in the morning across from where you are right now. And after 4 hours, he lunged at one of the officers with his knife and tried to stab the officer in the neck, and they shot him 14 times and killed him. Because they didn't know he was a veteran, they didn't know he had mental illness, because they weren't trained.
They didn't know what to do.
They didn't know what to do. And I'd been begging them to get training. And to the credit of the then police chief, when they found out, and the officers felt terrible when they found out he was a vet, came in and said, "We get it. Tell us how to fix it." And now Miami has one of the best CIT programs in the country. And they went from that agency alone, one shooting a month, to maybe 1 or 2 in the last 4 years. And I don't have all the data in from last year, but what I was told last week is just the city of Miami and Miami-Dade, which are 2 of the 38 agencies, they handled 10,000 mental health calls and made a handful of arrests. And so as a result, what's happening, and most of the people they encountered who were sick, they're trained on how to Baker Act someone or involuntarily hospitalize someone. They take them to a crisis unit. And so our jail audit has had the largest drop in the United States last year because of what the police officers are able to do. And they love it. I mean, you ought to hear their stories. They're like social workers now, and they feel so good about, being an officer again and helping people. It just has had all the right outcomes for everybody.
So the understanding has really come to a different level so that people can participate in a different way.
And they're like military in a way. If they know they have to get trained, they do it.
They do it. Now it's part of the check.
And now it's part of the check. But they like it. They're not getting hurt as much. They realize there must have been a better way to deal with this population. It's helping destigmatize the issue for them. And you know what you find, which is so interesting, because we have such a high percentage of people with mental illness in Dade County, when you train 3,600 officers, they have a lot of family members too with mental illness, and that's why they volunteer for this program. I have a wonderful woman who does the training, Hopsy Kaba. She's amazing. She is the best trainer I've ever met. and they love her, but she gets 100, 150 calls a month from law enforcement officers on their own family situation and needing advice on how to handle it, because it's not easy. It's a tough disease, and you know, even with the best training, if you don't have the resources to get people treatment, it's very difficult.